Joining us in the studio is Dr. Mrs. Doris Ezua, an autism specialist. She is with the OLG Autism Center. Doctor, as always, it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Let me begin by commending you. Thank you so much, because I know you started this and you're still at it. And I believe that in no distant future, your advocacy will be for the general good of society. Let's begin this way. Who can we liken to as a child with special needs?
A child with special needs is a child that has needs in various areas of the life, especially it can be mental, it can be medical, it can be psychological, and it can also be educational. These children have disabilities which could be specialized disability or generalized. In terms of specialized, it could be maybe the hearing, those that have hearing difficulties, those that are blind, those that have physical disability like with cerebral palsy. We also have other groups of children like neurodevelopmental disorders. They have problems in their development and the way they also function, like children with autism, attention deficit, hyperactive disorders, and others. And also we have children with learning disabilities. You don't really get to see anything in terms of physically. They might have dyslexia, they find it difficult to read, articulate mathematics, be able to write, or even understand what is being taught in school.
What are the early signs that parents should look out for? Because you talked about specialized cases and somewhat general, but when it comes to specific cases, what are these things that parents should look out for very early in life?
Any child that is not meeting up with the milestones, at each point in time, like for 6 months, 12 months, 9 months, 18 months, 24 months, we have expectations for each child. So long as that child is not meeting up with their development, which could be motor development, communication development, social development, personal development, adaptive skills, what the child is supposed to be doing, even in the house, in school. Any child that is not meeting up, at least we call it 2 standard deviations when compared to the peers, that child should be monitored and further assessed.
How widespread can we say this problem is? When I say widespread, does it affect probably a certain strata in society, or is it blanket?
It's not blanket. It's quite the prevalence rate is quite high, because we have it in those that are rich and also poor income, but it's more in the poor people in terms of because of the cost of the special needs child. Example, a child the mother that didn't get the necessary attention when she was pregnant, most likely we have a special needs child. Those that didn't go for antenatal care, and that is in the poor socioeconomic strata. But for those that are rich also, you see in terms of knowing them and they're presenting early, it is in the rich socioeconomic strata, because they have identified it early, so they were able to go to hospital and get their child identified and diagnosed.
To what extent can we say information is being generated for public consumption when it comes to issues that bother on children, more so specialized issues like this?
The awareness is becoming better now, because we have advocates, people that have come out to talk about it, but it's less in the rural areas, because they don't even have television or even media facilities to watch, as we're talking now in the television. That's to know what a special needs child is. And most times, because of discrimination, they leave them at home. They don't come out, they don't go to school. So they don't really have the awareness that their child can be educated. Their child has a right to free education, like you just talked about, and the people are also talking about.
So what we're saying is that no matter the mental state of a child, he is still trainable.
Yes. But it depends on the developmental quotient. We have the mild developmental delays, the moderate. We actually have profound. They might need institutionalization. But the important thing is, how early did you start? Early intervention is very important. If you don't start early, you might have profound learning disability or profound developmental quotient. So if you start early, you can move a child from one level to the other.
All right. Just before we go, what is your advice to parents whose words are affected, and in fact, society in general?
My own advice, my humble opinion or advice is that they should never give up. If they feel their child is not meeting up, they should run to the doctors. They should tell their teachers. They should be able to monitor their child and say something is wrong. and they should make their views and opinion heard. Because sometimes when you go to people and tell them, I think my child has a problem, they'll tell you, no, don't worry, it's just a late bloomer. You should take the bull by the horn and do something about it.
Well,
and they should never give up.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma, for taking time to come and share your expertise with us this evening.